husband, I believe, of Eva, I believe. And so, what I'm curious about is how do you feel that because this is a kind of avant-garde play, as the director had mentioned, how do you think that, or do you think that the husband is different in this play than your normal standard everyday husband in most other plays or productions?
I think he's, I mean, I'm an actor, I'm just supposed to play the role, and not really supposed to theorize about, what the role's purpose is, but as Tim, I theorize anyway.
Right. That's never stopped me either.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I think he's sort of an amplification of every husband. He is the penultimate, boring husband. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of unusual because all the other characters are episodic. They appear once, but George, not to give away too much, but George appears throughout the play. So I think it's kind of a contrast between the rest of the world that stays the same and then the main character that goes through changes.
Right.
That's my theory.
Have you played husbands before? I'm just curious.
Yes, I have.
And how do you find this husband character different from the others that you've played? Or is there a difference?
But, well, he's just... he doesn't have a whole lot of self-reflection, and he doesn't really observe a lot about what goes around him. He's kind of self-absorbed. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty different from most of the other ones.
Okay. All right. Well, and we arrive at...
Can I ask him a question?
Yes, go ahead.
I was wondering, because as by the book, like, this kind of reminds me a little bit of American Dream, your role.
Yes.
So...
Okay, that husband was very similar to this husband.
Okay,
I forgot about that one.
It just seemed that there was some similarities.
Yeah,
I was just wondering, what was your...
Well, the audiences here will probably see that George and the other character both read the newspaper throughout half the plays. That's the big similarity.
And Rebecca plays the main character, Eva. Now, I guess it's the easiest question that I can ask you is, how did this part come about for you? How did you get the part?
How did I get the part?
Yeah.
Well, I was actually precast in the role, and then the big question is why, right?
If you say so.
Well, that's the question that always comes to. I've never been precast in a play in my life, so this is a first. And Frankie Enos, who's actually on the board, after we had all read the play and there's a lot of excitement about it, she saw me in the role. And they said, go for it, Rebecca. So I think it was really nice of them, because this is a kind of a role that is not usually written for women, period. You just don't get many of these roles as a woman where it really, it's like what you said about the 1970s movies, is it challenges the female protagonist in a way that we only usually see male protagonists challenged in plays. So it's huge opportunity, and I'm grateful. I didn't expect it, and I was very, very grateful, and I hope I don't screw it up.
How do you find that roles that you've done prior to playing this part have prepared you to play Eva? I'm just curious about that.
Well, yes and no. Yes, as an actress, everything I have done up to this point has informed my art, right? So I've learned a lot more about who I am as an actress and my technique and my approach. I've been doing this since I was a child, so everything builds. Could I have done this really well 10 years ago? I don't know that I could have. I think that things I've done in the past are now preparing me to play a character, and this character is very, very far from me. It's not the kind of character I'm usually casted. I don't get the roles where I am a strong individual who may falter, but who makes her own rules. So that's been a real different challenge for me, and I've really enjoyed it.
So, do you have a preference? Do you like playing someone who is unpleasant as opposed to pleasant?
I think what my preference is for any role I can start to identify with and be true to, like feel like it comes from someplace really organic. So I have found a place, an organic place with this particular character, which is great. I mean, I wasn't sure in the beginning, but it's there. So more so than I did in American Dream, because that wasn't an organic personality for me, although she was a lot of fun.
Okay. So let's move on to.
Wait, can I ask Rebecca?
Oh yeah.
You don't know. No, I'm serious.
I think I'll just be in the seats. You can just.
You brought something up in my mind.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, we're talking about the 1970s, and I was thinking about your character from Defiance. And she was a strong person, right?
Yeah, she was a strong person, but she was also a strong person
In the 70s.
in the 70s from the point of view of absolute nurturer. I mean, she nurtured her son, she tried to nurture her husband. At the end of the play, she stood up for herself. We think. We actually don't know, because the play ends before we see what decision she makes, the result of this particular actor sleeping with that actor's wife, and I was his wife. So it's, wow, this Hawaiian community's kind of, theater, very ancestral. Weird. But
She said it. I didn't.